call me Kat too. I'm the executive editor of Garden Culture magazine. And today we're joined by Jacob Rolfe, who is an actor, an artist, and actually the designer of our current edition's cover on mushrooms and alternative medicines. So, Jacob, thank you so much for being here with me today.
But yeah, my pleasure, Kat. Thanks for having me.
I've been editing Garden Culture magazine for about 7 years now, and we have a very talented in-house graphic designer who usually does our covers. We never go outside for our covers, so this is really exciting. It's rare, and
Oh, yeah, very auspicious.
yeah. And I just wanted to know, what was your inspiration for the cover?
Well, the when I was talking with Eric, he had mentioned that you guys were planning on doing a mushroom themed edition, and so yeah, mushrooms are the source of inspiration. Um, I'm actually a bit of a mycophobe in my real life. Like I don't eat mushrooms at home. I mean, I don't know if phobia, that might be overstating my level of fear, but I don't eat mushrooms in my day-to-day life at all. But I do indulge in, magic mushrooms from time to time. And, certainly historically, I've really enjoyed those. And I do draw. I've been drawing mushrooms for this video game I'm working on with a guy. Like there's a mushroom planet with mushroom characters, and they come up in my day-to-day sort of doodles and drawings. Uh, and so we'll see. I'm just getting started on the cover for the current issue, and so I'm drawing some inspiration from all those different parts of my life, as well as what I've gleaned from other people who do cultivate culinary mushrooms and that kind of thing as well. So we'll see. It's yeah, I'm drawing from all my historical influence.
That's awesome. There's a creative process, right?
It is, yeah, yeah. I mean, often when I started drawing, like I have a condition called aphantasia, so I can't actually picture images in my head, and so I might have a vague idea of what I want the outcome to be, but it's not like a visual idea. It's more of I think of it as like an invisible line drawing in a black space. Like there's something there, or like a wireframe, but it's not filled in at all. So sometimes when I start drawing, I sort of try to conform to that vague idea in my mind, but sometimes it just sort of takes a mind or takes a direction of its own, on the sketchbook page as I'm drawing. So we'll see. I've started some preliminary drawings for this, and yeah, I'm sort of seeing how it develops, and eventually it'll start to come together into the final image if everything goes well.
Excited to see it. I'm sure it will go very well. I'm sure. So this all came to be, you met the magazine's owners, Eric and Celia, at the Grow Up conference. What is your affiliation with Grow Up?
I'm a lifelong, or at least like since I've been an adult, a fan of cannabis, and yeah, I hadn't been to any big kind of conferences like that before. And yeah, I was offered a space there in exchange for doing some art for the conference. And so I was going to be in Ontario at the time and thought, why not? Sounds like fun. And it was, went down to the conference, and yeah, got to see that side of the, cannabis industry, which I don't normally see as as a consumer.
Right, right. So you enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was fun seeing all the I thought I was a hardcore stoner, but I'm pretty lightweight once you see the real industry folks. I mean, not everyone there even smoked, I'm sure, but there was some real
Right.
a whole bunch of real folks who were real into it. And yeah, it was great to see all that side of the industry.
So we know you're an artist, and I do want to come back to that and talk a little bit more about it. But another claim to fame is you're an actor, and you were a series regular on the Trailer Park Boys. You were starred as Jacob Collins. So tell me a little bit about that experience. That must have been a lot of fun.
It's super fun. Yeah, it's they actually just filmed a 13th season of the show last month, and so the dynasty continues. But yeah, I mean, back in grade 7 or so, I went to an acting camp. I don't know how I ended up choosing that, but I thought, oh, maybe I want to be an actor. As far as grade sevens can have any inclination, and we were doing some, I don't know, like acting type stuff, and it culminated with a stage play at the end of the week. And I was so mortified to be on stage, having to say things like severe stage fright, and so I was like, oh my God, I never want to do this ever again. And so acting wasn't something I aspired to, but I was living in Halifax back when the show started around, they filmed the first season in 1999, I believe. And I just happened to be working at a bar there and ended up uh, being asked to, yeah, like just do a small part on the show because I guess I looked, trailer park enough. And yeah, I mean, being on set, I found really nerve-wracking. Uh, and I thought, like after the first scene in the first season, I thought, oh man, I was so stiff there that they're never going to ask me back. But then season two, it was a similar thing. I was a clerk in a store for the first bunch of seasons. It was sort of this running gag. I would be there for a scene. The boys would come in and hassle me, and I'd get, fired or whatever. So that was sort of a running gag for the first bunch of years. And yeah, my character was established as a nervous, kind of, awkward guy, which is my, style in front of the camera, so to speak. And yeah, the rest is history. My part expanded in season seven, and I've been sort of a regular part of the cast, since then.
It's fantastic. I mean, it must be a lot of work, but very rewarding too.
It's a lot of work to create the whole show for like the cast and crew. I mean, my part as an actor is relatively simple. I just got some lines to say at the right times. They keep my lines relatively easy so I can handle them too. I think they probably learned not to give me more than I can handle. So like it is sort of work, and it can be nerve wracking at times. But yeah, it's super fun, and all in all, it's a great job, and I'm so lucky that it sort of fell into my lap.
Absolutely. Well, good luck with that.
Cheers.
So back to your artwork now. What would you say your medium of choice is, or do you have multiple?
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoy screen printing, and I used to like only produce my work as screen prints, like for the physical copies. I draw like pen and paper to start, and then I'll scan that into the computer and work on the image, sort of assemble it, add color. I don't know how familiar you are with screen printing, but you put the layers on the paper one at a time, like a different screen for every layer, sort of like a fancy stencil. And so that requires work on the computer to separate the layers. Some people still do it the old way, where they might do that by hand, but I definitely enjoy the computer as an aid. But yeah, I hand draw this stuff, sort of color it and fix things up on the computer, and then output as a screen print. Traditionally, although the last couple of years, my screen printing setup here has been not operational, so I've been doing more like I guess reproductions, like printing out my art instead of screen printing it. But I do love screen printing as like I feel I'm a screen printer first and foremost. Last couple of years notwithstanding. I had been moving towards selling like not exclusively screen prints and moving into more reproductions to sort of supplement the screen prints and focusing my screen printing on things I sort of wanted to do just to save my back and sort of for time wise as well. I also try to keep my art affordable for sort of regular folks, and so by selling reproductions, I can sell them cheaper than I might sell screen prints for as well. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm maybe I guess I sometimes think of myself as a psychedelic doodler, and then I guess however I output the work is like maybe a separate question.
So I find it very interesting that you do a lot of hand drawing in a day and age where AI is kind of dominating every single realm, not just art. What's it like to kind of compete with AI, I guess?
Yeah, I guess I'm not really aware how much I'm actually competing with it. I mean, there could be. I do third party like freelance work, from time to time, sort of in fits and starts. And there could be folks who I've done freelance work for before who are now, going to AI to get the graphics. I still do get requests to do things, by hand. I haven't messed with the AI art stuff at all, but I've definitely seen a lot of it around, as has everybody who's on the internet. And a lot of it, it has a certain look that, is sort of the AI kind of, look, but then a lot of people are creating it where it can look like, different kind of illustration styles or things like that too, which, I find fascinating, and I'm not, totally against it per se. So we'll see. I guess that's just me making some comments on AI. But yeah, I haven't noticed it actually affecting, my work yet. Although I feel that might be coming down the pike at some point.
Okay, you talked about keeping your artwork affordable for people by doing reproductions. How can people buy your art?
Oh, I've got a website. It's fairly updated. Uh, I'm very much an artist more than a business person, so it is a
Okay.
struggle sometimes keeping things like uh, running on the business side. But yeah, I've got a website. It's got a lot of my current work up on there, and it's the short URL to find it would be bam.ca, B-AAA-M.ca.
Perfect. Thank you.
And I've got screen prints and reproductions there, organized in different sections.
Super. We talked a little bit about your creative process before, and you were saying how you don't see the image, right? Before
Mhm.
you start working. Um, what is your creative process typically like then? Like, how do you start when somebody hires you or commissions you for something? What do you do?
Usually, I guess, get out my sketchbook, smoke a joint, and just start drawing lines in the sketchbook. And just, yeah, see sort of how it develops. And sometimes like the first drawing might be what ends up, being the final project. Sometimes it'll take a few kind of passes to, have something gel. Um, I guess, I mean, since this won't be out until after the issue is out. Like this is what I started doing some drawings yesterday, so we could see some mushrooms of different types, kind of playing around with some ideas. And so we'll see. I mean, this is not a composition by any means yet, but this is just sort of getting the flow going. And so yeah, like last night I was like high on some weed. I think I was watching like something on YouTube in the background just to sort of like take a bit of the focus off. Like sometimes with the creative process, I find it's like, okay, I got to do something for the client now. And it's got to be good. If I'm just sitting there with the sketchbook, it could be kind of cramp my style. Um, but then I find having a program that's not too engrossing in the background, kind of like a sort of find a middle space there that helps. And that's what I was doing yesterday.
Where are you right now?
I'm in on the south shore of Nova Scotia,
Oh,
uh,
nice.
a town called Cherry Hill, like a stretch of highway, basically. But I don't have
And
oceanfront property, but I can see it off in the distance
oh,
from my house
is that your
here.
full-time residence?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Nice. Um, a lot of your artwork involves plants. Do you have a garden?
I don't. I have like a brown thumb, if any, or a black thumb. I don't know what the opposite of green is. Red thumb. Brown thumb sounds a bit iffy. But yeah, no, I have I blame the coastal environment here. Like I tried to grow basil a couple years ago, but it never got any bigger than the little plant that I bought from the from the garden shop. And similar thing, my brother gave me some peppers this year, and they've grown a little bit, but like I've gotten only one pepper off them so far, and he's got giant bushes over in back in Toronto where he lives. And similar, yeah, growing cannabis. I tried like before it was legal. I once I bought this house, I've been here about 10 years. And it's the first time I've had this much space for myself, so I bought like the stuff to grow weed indoors, and it was fun to a point, but then once the plant started to become sickly and less healthy, it just sort of became a stressful, situation upstairs in my grow room. And yeah, I don't have I'm not a natural farmer at any means, whether it's cannabis or food or flowers.
Right. You enjoy, don't grow.
Yeah. So maybe drawing plants is my is sort of a compensation for that. If I can't grow the plants, I could at least draw a picture of them and
Totally. That makes sense.
put that on the wall or on a shelf.
And what about cats? Do you have cats? Because I noticed you like to draw cats.
No, maybe a similar thing. Yeah, compensation for not having any of my own. We grew up with a lot of cats when I was a kid. Like we probably had five cats at one point all at once, and different cats coming and going over the years. My mom would always feed stray cats if they were outside. She couldn't bear to let them go hungry, and we'd end up adopting them sometimes if they just ended up moving into the house. So I do really like cats. But yeah, I draw them. I feel like in my drawings they maybe represent I don't know, like maybe what am I trying to say? I don't know why I draw cats, I guess, so much. I think they're easier to draw than people. And I mean the cats I draw are pretty, they aren't like like photorealistic by any means. They're very much cartoony. So maybe they're fun and yeah, easier to draw than people. And I sometimes think they might represent the shadow side of myself or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to back up that statement.
Do you like to cook?
I do cook a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. What are some of your favorite dishes?
I like making like lots of sort of bean or lentil sort of dishes. I mean, that's sort of my like base thing, like soups or stews, that kind of thing. I also really like spreads and sauces that are, very flavorful, like making like a black olive or black and green olive tapenade. I just made a spread called Zug. I might be pronouncing it wrong the other day, but it's a coriander or cilantro based sauce with some cumin and cardamom, garlic, and lemon juice in there. I'm less inspired doing sort of like bigger dishes than I used to be these days, at least. I like making, like a pizza from scratch if I'm feeling a little bit, like junk foodie or something like that. Although I live alone, and so there's a risk of like if I make a pizza, I'll eat the whole thing and then I'll end up regretting it. I can't pack away the,
Carbs.
horses I used to.
I hear you. Are you vegetarian?
At home, I'm vegetarian. If I'm out, I'll eat meat if that's what's on offer. But usually, if there's a veggie choice that's not mushroom based, I will, I will opt for that.
Okay. I find it really funny that you're doing our mushroom edition and don't eat mushrooms.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is. I mean, I do find mushrooms like super fascinating. Like
Yeah.
if you look, if you look up weird mushrooms online, which I might do at some point for this project, there's so many like super weird mushrooms, like things you could never
Yes.
even imagine. Maybe not culinary or magic per se, but like such fascinating organisms. So I do find them, yeah, super fascinating, but yeah, also, kind of repulsive on a certain level.
That's too funny. Do you like to travel? And if so, what are some of your favorite spots that you've been to?
I like traveling a lot. Like the last couple of years, I spent time in Thailand during the winters, which I really enjoyed. I hadn't been there since 2007. I'd sort of forgotten about Thailand. But once I heard that they had decriminalized cannabis, I looked into it again and ended up buying a ticket. But I've spent a lot of time over the years in India, which I find a really exhilarating place to travel, although it could be kind of overwhelming as well. I'm going to Nepal in a couple of months to do a hike in the Annapurna Mountains with a buddy this year, and so just being so close to India, I might pop down to India afterwards if I feel my nerves can take it, or I might just buy a ticket to Thailand. It's pretty not too far, and yeah, so much sort of easier to deal with. I think as I get older, my nerves maybe can't handle things as well as they used to be able to. So yeah, India might be too much for me to handle these days. We shall see. But
Totally get.
but yeah, I usually travel somewhere that's like inexpensive and warmer than Canada is in the winter, but not too hot. I can't handle it if it's too hot. But somewhere with a nice moderate temperature or climate.
Very specific criteria.
Yeah, I mean, I often like to be around, yeah, like 1,500 to 2,000 meters, somewhere tropical is good. So it's, yeah, not winter, but also, yeah, not too hot. Nice, cool nights.
Do you generally spend a lot of the winters away every year?
Yeah,
Do you make a
yeah,
point of doing that? Okay.
yeah. Like I try to get away for 4 months if I can, but yeah, like somewhere between 3 and 5 months usually to get good, get the worst of the winter months behind me.
Right. And you can do art anywhere.
It is, yeah. Thankfully, I mean, my I guess career or the way my work is set up does allow me to do that. I used to stay here in Canada and like sell art over Christmas because that's a busy time like in the run up to Christmas. But yeah, last couple of years I've gotten away before that, and again this year I'm leaving. I'm leaving earlier. But yeah, there's nothing going on like January, February, March for artists. It's like no need to be in Canada, and I can work elsewhere to build up some new work. And I do find traveling is also can be sort of can help spark my creativity as well. Being in different places and mixing it up. And I find it really valuable also to get away from my house. Like on my own, I have a hard time doing it. I'm sort of stuck here, like keeping up with all my responsibilities. But if I can, once I'm out of the country, it's like out of sight, out of mind. Even if there's stuff that I'm supposed to be doing, it's like, oh well, can't, can't do it till March now.
Yeah, totally. I get that for sure. Being a homeowner, you're always having to fix something or do something, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
indeed.
So, do you have any other projects on the go right now other than our cover?
I've been trying to like sort of uh pare down the freelance work I was doing. I was finding it was a bit sort of imbalanced and I was, not doing as much of my own original stuff. And so I've been sort of, yeah, like not taking on any projects recently, but I just finished up a one for a, I can't give you many details, but it's for a re-release of a movie for a small studio, I guess, in the States somewhere. So that was pretty cool. It's going to be on the Blu-ray. This movie from the 70s. And then I feel I've been busy doing some other stuff this summer too. I can't remember what that even was right now.
Maybe stuff around the house.
There's definitely that. I had a big project that finished up earlier this spring, doing a like it was the a graphic wrap for an ice cream truck. So that was like a project that was much bigger than I was anticipating, which was really nice to finish up. It was fun until I guess it wasn't. It became like kind of dragged on a bit too long, which is the risk sometimes of projects and the way I work. I've got very terrible time management, so it's I think like many artists, I'm probably not alone in that, but sometimes it can be a challenge.
For sure. And I get that too. It's the same in many different lines of work, right? When things start dragging on, you just kind of want to get it done with and move on, right?
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been trying to say no to a few things, so I have a bit more time to get out camping, which I plan to do this month, and then maybe into October if the weather permits. The forests have been closed here in Nova Scotia, as you may have heard, in central Ontario, but there's some open trails up in New Brunswick. I was just told. I thought everything was closed there too, but I'm planning to head up to the Fundy Footpath, this weekend or early next week and spend a few nights hiking in the backcountry. Yeah, which will be nice. I feel I've been working pretty steadily this summer, and I'm deserving of a little bit of vacation time.
And it's so good for the soul to get out in nature, right? And just
Yeah,
rejuvenate your mind.
yeah, yeah. I really benefit from it, and I got to start training for hiking in the Himalayas.
Yeah.
Because yeah, in 2 months, basically, I'll be flying to Nepal, and I realized that like I just turned 50 last year, and I can't just take it for granted that my body's going to, get
Right.
me cooperate. So yeah, I've been doing a bit of jogging for the first time in years, like just starting off real slow, doing some planks,
Oh, good.
and
Yes. That'll come in handy for sure. Yeah.
then hiking up an actual some hills. It's a really an up and down trail in New Brunswick, the Fundy Footpath. So it'll start training my legs up a little bit.
Nice. So other than hiking and kind of outdoorsy stuff, what do you like to do outside of work?
Yeah, just like hammock time. You know, I like just hanging out on the coast, which I'm close to here, thankfully. And just go and get some air outside of the house. Which, as I was sort of alluding to before, it's easier said than done sometimes, as I'm sort of running around, poorly managing my time, trying to get stuff done, and the one day goes by after another, and not getting out for just basic like some basic nature time. I really enjoy, cooking and getting out for walks, things you sort of touched on earlier in the conversation. And then hanging out with friends sometimes too. You
All very healthy interests. Yeah, that's great. Awesome. Well, Jacob, thank you so much for your time today, and thank you for doing our cover.
Well, yeah, well, the pleasure is mine. Yeah, really great to talk to you, Kat. And I do tend to ramble. I didn't smoke any weed today before talking with you. So I would be, like not too stony sounding. But yeah, hopefully you can massage this into something something workable.
Yeah, yeah, no, that was great. You were very well spoken. It was excellent.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much.